Good greetings, times and travelers alike. I went off my meds for this one. No, really. Lothric is a land of vibrance, colour, and culture, and the only way to escape it is through illicit means. From the meth fields of Firelink, to the Ket fields of Ariandel, to the Hatman juice fields of the Ringed City. There's much to miss.
Dude, it's fucking... LeBron James?
Let us build an accurate portrayal of the socioeconomics, supply chains, and industry of friendship and joy for this upcoming Lothric documentary.
You're stuck in your fucking own asshole.
Rim job.
You're stuck in your own
I'm nearly there.
Join me in ranking the availability, location, potency, and mode of transports for each of these wondrous things. Like before, we will be ranking them area by area in an otherwise normal playthrough. The untendered gravies begins in we, and already we are off to an auspicious commencement. Not even a footstep outside of our sarco, flesh, fagus, eater, and we have ourselves our hands upon a curious bottle. It doesn't take a genial to tell you that, because it is covered in blue crystals, that this here is what I deem to be a shoulder of meth. Available in any off-license if you look hard enough. I only get one blast out of it before it runs dry fucking immediately, but at the very it gives me the ability to move at 10 times speed, be functionally invincible, and my hands look like they're quite far away now. The foremost priority as of right now is to get our hands on more because we can just quit anytime we want. Gandering at the area as a whole, it appears we are surrounded by some pretty suspicious natural growths. But we'll have to touch base with the dealer to learn more on that. Wait, that rings a bell. There are a few other guys near here that might steer us in the right direction. Hello, hi. Do you a meth having? No, they sure don't, but what they sure do is that they look like they've used it all. And what the bonfire is telling me here is that it is stupid. The abundance of stimulants is sort of counterintuitive to such a thing. My sorries, I am currently undergoing the physiological effects of ejector seat technology. Gundyr is all tuckered out from an eternity of playing with errant ghouls hopped up on the Empire's equivalent of oil filter cleaner and... Wait a second, I think I found the Empire's equivalent of oil filter mud. Bro is seeping in this stuff. It doesn't take a genius to tell you that this venom slime is a sort of black, kind of tarry substance. Herobrine, if you will. His track marks are so prevalent that they became sentient and sang me a lullaby repeatedly over the head until I slept forever. Oh wait, sadly, I am now God. Judging by this poor guy just outside his arena, there seems to be a systemic issue occurring where the ruling class is depriving tweakers of their precious nectar. Even the mode of transport is missing. Gundyr is well off enough though due to the fact that he is now a symbiote. The source of the substance is completely unknown, but I promise we'll get to that eventually in the video. It could be connected to this black separation crystal, seeing as what it does is separate you from reality. Or perhaps it's connected to this bottle full of bright yellow tea with lumps in it. As we all know, the only bright yellow tea drink of this sort is datura. That will separate you from this and every consecutive reality. This is connected to the fact that my neck has mice in it. Connecting all of this together is Andre perched up in his Mr. Worldwide plug spot that canonically connects concentric conventions of every Ashen One's universe, going as far as to link both of his products, being meth and datura disposable bottles, to the very essence of every living thing through bonfires. Every single bonfire is a bottomless well of liquid meth and plasmic stramonium. Customize your ratio at the plug spot. Merchant Whatever Lady has a lightning round in store for us. Embers, as far as I'm concerned, are what I consider to be evidence of combustion. Moss clumps, as far as I'm concerned, are strains of Zaza, with this purple one being some sort of indica, because that word looks purple in my mind's eye. Prism stones are just bangers. The whole point of bangers is that you have no idea what they are. They make you vibrate, and that's fine. Any spell, as far as I'm concerned, are papers. Of course they are flavored, and I consider blue ones to be for cigs, because nicotine is a blue word in my mind's eye. Miracles are for the Zaz. These weapons are as close as it gets to a grinder in these parts. Use them with these cutting dishes. This armor is for when your autism gets turbocharged by something laced and you need a weighted blanket. I don't even need to use wordplay with the sorcerer's staff. Chloroform is... and the pièce de résistance is the torch. Oh yes, baby. A fucking lighter. Close by is the bona fide tweakhead of the cliff edge, who has checked out entirely. Andre's right-hand man reduced to ashes. Evidence of his antics is signified by this guy laying in a tree in the tweaking position, these embers, and this giant who, without a doubt, has been overcome by the merchant's purple moss clumps. The dude's been transformed into a tree, man. I know this because of its emergence from the mouth, the point of impact, so to say. Wherever it was sourced is long gone, or close by, if you consider the end of the world smashing everything together. This dude abides, though. Overlooking this incredible event is another. This poor fucker gave in to the whims of manual breathing, begging the consideration of this being the area's designated tweaking spot. Yeah man, as far as they go, this is up there. Up here, really. I'd say whichever cosmonaut this was used the cleric's sacred chime to send the necessary molecules to the necessary neural pathways. Let's backpedal to the start. This here crystal lizard cannot be the source of the blue crystals, as it cannot cook, though it is certainly its #1 customer. Extrapolating from the chef's ingredients, as in Andre, we need to secure a source of water. Check. A source of heat. Check. Biological material. Well, going by the geography of this area, it is very similar to the barren and wind-swept mountainsides of Central Asia. I choose Kyrgyzstan as my example. The outward appearance of the single most abundant acid used in the area, a light and brushy shrub, looks remarkably similar to the ephedra plant. Funnily enough, this plant has historically been placed with the entombed dead as an offering. Good thing cemeteries are the best toking spots. It grows all over the gaff, and even all the way into and across Firelink itself. Up to this tweaking spot that isn't quite as good, since you'd be curled up looking at your overlords and getting your bell rung. This plant is an affliction. So Andre is, outside the watchful eye of Lothric PD, cultivating diabolical quantities of ephedra, manufacturing and distilling meth juice, hot wiring it to the global bonfire system, linking the fire, if you will, and getting every hollow utterly thwopped all day with its limitless supply. We'll get to the datura bush eventually, but you're also incentivized to invade neighboring lands to get more scopolamine shards, which increase the amount of pops you get per bonfire. Andre, you big fucker. You've outdone yourself. Dear lord, it isn't over. You can get rings that make these bottles even more effective than they were before. Fucking hell. After freeing Cornix from his self-induced limbo, you can buy an even more convenient lighter off of him. And the single largest arsenal of forbidden techniques. Well, these are all the kinds of clouds you can blow. Yellowish sweat. So for Tenderlink's tier list of Los Drogas, we have meth in S tier. You basically spawn inside of it, and you get an infinite bolus only seconds later. If you want discretion, you're shit out of lacking too. Datura gets an A, since you don't quite know where it's been sourced from, and the vibes for it are a little off. Zaza gets an A tier, as most of it is procured way later. The order of events is get smoke and then kill, not the other way around, because it costs a pretty dime to get your hands on the bud, skins and lighter. Pipes too if you swing that way. Banger's get a B because it begins with B. Not much to go off, but definitely a sort of trifecta going on. Chloroform gets a D. Finally, Venom gets a C tier. Right away we have surefire evidence of tokage. Impeccable lighting, enormous white ash pile, and what looks like a hot rail. Odd. Also, Andre's been letting his ephedra cultivation get way out of hand. It's crawled right up the side of the castle and into the next level. On the right rampart is another case of tree-itis, much like with the giant, leading to the assumption of nearby moss clumps. I'm not a botanist, but these are a seemingly unrelated plant that looks a lot like dead thistles. Another symbiote conks about nearby, suggesting a connection to the black goo. I do try to acquire more evidence by rectally dilating surrounding pupils of God's teachings, but all they have is fucking rocks. Instead, I get pretty high up the staircase and locate a pair of binos. As a botanist, I can tell you that this is a perfectly valid and effective way of starting a miniature and controlled blaze to do so yourself. Granted, it did take nearly 10 minutes to get the right angle for long enough. This paste is something. I never quite figured out exactly what it is. I'm also a liar. Comment down below your thoughts and like the belly button below down below. This stupid fucking lizard thinks that blowing flames all over the meth bushes will get anything wet. That's just dumb. In the midst of it is this enormous, fat doink, larger than the one I've been braining people with, when it's supposed to put the small end in its dumb mouth. Don't crossfade with something weird or you will find out the hard way that you stripped away some circuit resistors, whereby your body normally mercifully filters the noises of all 3 branches of your temporal artery into your ear. Anyway, the Hatman has showed up to eat your ass from the other end of the tube, defeated in a chivalrous engagement, and you will be rewarded with the Benadryl axe. No idea what the fuck it does. If I were to guess though, it would be something like this. Fuck, my eyes aren't engorged enough. Let me top up on some Datura-flavored Powerade until I'm forced into the nearby dimension of the lean man, who will never be relevant ever again. Our first sign of the bygone era of black slime heronbird is this array of long-dead poppy stems. These fuzzy green-grey stems surround another bad case of Eminem's best track, so let's just take that connection at face value. If I were a botanist, I could tell you that these here plant is another one of the devil's Caesar salad bowls. Tragically, there is no paper or lighter in sight, so make use of the dark sign you carry with you and just toss it on in there. Just don't burp during or after the pull or you're fucked. Fine, let's just get plug number 2 involved and have him crash on Andre's suspiciously puddle-shaped couch. I'm sick of scrounging off the grease trap of grease traps. For now, let's just make do with this pack of Rizla, yes, Rizla skins, an enormous bowl and a fucking guidebook. Why not? The Boreal Valley, believe it or not, is the international capital of crack cocaine, as indicated by the dancer's enormous hot rail for spooning that shit. The proof is in the fact that she's paranoid of the guardsmen tracking her down and knocking down her front door. Thus, I am locked in there with her. To combat the encroaching expansion of the crack empire, I make use of my boof until she pulls out her lean sword to create a speedball of sorts, to create a brand new normal. This results in the confiscation of my newly acquired bowl. Let's backpedal a bit to the main hub of High Wall. All of this bright yellow leaf makes me go, This vast expanse of ivy-like vines make me go, This angry dog makes me go, So clearly this, going purely by the shape of this leaf, is definitely Datura. I cannot justify why I think this. It just looks like it. And the tea is also yellow. This asset does not exist anywhere outside of this staircase, so I imagine Andre hooked an infinite loop of Lothrics into the bonfire supply. I'm also a liar. These vines are obviously something. Fuck it, let's just say it's a canon-specific species of weed. Who cares? Part of this conglomeration are even more poopy stems, ephedra shrubs, and pilgrims. Plug mules of Londor are known to carry jaw-dropping amounts of top shelf across continents, and they are never seen past this point because this is their gasoline equivalent of Mecca. You can even see little tendrils forming caused by the yet unsowed seeds reaching a breaking point, like with old potatoes, because these poor bastards were pushed to their limits. Who knew that getting so fried that your heart starts beating manually is generally not fun? I have since discovered the link between this and the red bud, supplied by Grey Rat. I was just about to investigate this impressive grow box when the heckin' Borko of the Boreal Valley came, and he is just rearing to show me his rear, his crack even, where the crack is stored. Crack is stored in the rear. Being the dominant presence between two wolves, he is compelled, like any binghead, to follow my orders unconditionally. Go boy, go fetch. My wife makes me sleep on the floor. This top-down view should give you a pretty good idea as to what we are up against. The Tokage will pull some mist style if you're not careful. Try not to let him rip fat clouds into your mouth or you're going to go weird places. I would rather not associate with the French lexicon if I can help it. For the sake of consistency, I'll be labeling most things to do with dark, which is purple, as things associated with lean. For things to do with deep, I'll be labeling Benadryl. Osiris really knocked it out of the park by filling his one with an enormous quantity of cough syrup. Consumed King is right. The guy is out of control. Before the other shoe even drops, I get infected by the intricacies of SoundCloud rapping and emit a purplish haze by virtue of this goo. That clearly wasn't enough because now I get to smear my boofer with a thick layer of drag to make my frames drop in real life. The power gradient is made obvious by the annihilation of another black tar Helveticat that never chanced a stud. Osiris himself has by now developed a particularity with his tastes, as seen by his use of the famously viscous and viciously milky Benylin cold medicine. Big man is hallucinating, crushing his own child, so I wouldn't recommend using it, from a third-party perspective. As for the tiny crystals, that's what happens when it dries in the cap and you get cursed parmesan shavings when you try to unscrew it. Due to its association with the Titanite lizards, I'll chalk Titanite scale up to being a meth-specific rail. Useless without a heat source, of course. Not only that, but it's found right next to Ephedra City and the meth ring, which doubles the potency. I'm not sure when I found the lean gem, but let's just say I found it in Osiris' stash that was found inside of several boreholes in the top of his bedroom door. Lothric proper is pretty pristine for the most part, besides a couple of paintings that have been smeared with liquefied sticky diethylamide. Very nice, and a few tweaking spots here and there. Oh, the only other Datura bush is found anywhere in the game. Look, I know it's missing its iconic bellowing flower, but that's just tough luck. Twinkling Titanite has been found elsewhere so far, but now is a good time as any to designate this funny rock as straight up crack. Looks the part and fits the theme I'm going for, with Irithyll and all. What the blazes? Judging by these papers and a few embers strewn about, I'd say these wyverns are importing waterfalls from Switzerland by now. Shame I'm mooching their barter from under their goochings. Also, this pale pine resin had me twixt so I'll just chalk it over to the ballpark of... man, it's blue, so you know what that means. Here we have the end result of the Pilgrims' journey. The seeds actually germinated on purpose, you see, so that they become growth pods, turn into human trees, and eventually become a sort of sycamore seed that helicopters the perimeter out of paranoia. We also have the end result of that lightning juice. I think there were a couple pots here and there, and some guys had it, but I'm relying on my dearest democracyship, Yoldav, ye even, to provide something funny. I trust year judgments. Now the rundown. Sadly, there is literally nowhere private or comfortable except for that one elevator room with the lean monster. Meth gets an A tier this time, since we aren't being graced by the presence of Heisandriberg. The tier goes straight into S for this one, purely because of Lothric. Dank Souls remains A because all you have at your disposal is some moldy tarp, heart attack nugs, and binoculars to light it. And all the seeds have unsuccessfully germinated. But on the right side you do get Lothric. This paste goes in trash tier because you guys suck at being funny. Venom again gets C tier, with some merit for archaeological artifacts. Crack storms in and takes S tier because all you need to do is let one of 2 enormous dogs exhale it directly into your appendix. I personally would go for the one upstairs. Don't like that? Try getting hot railed in the appendix. Benadryl also goes into trash tier. Lean, with a little bit of effort, is so readily available that visiting Osiris would result in you inhaling your own tongue. If you want but a smidgen and a discreet nook, then go do a side quest nobody ever completes to visit the Lean Man. A tier. LSD gets trash tier.
Oh, here we go. I'm nodding off, bro. It's like that robot from WALL-E, or that fucking animal from Barnyard. I'm stuck like this. I'm stuck like this for the fucking rest of the fucking video.
To gain entry into the proverbial steel mill of Lothric's ticklish underbelly, we must first hoist their most prized Rizla skin reserved for only the whoppest of schloingers. Just as we saw before, the plug mules gather en masse to, well, okay, there isn't anything here, but putting the evidence together shows that there was a large-scale supply chain going on that went from Lothric to Outer Lands. Granted, that's changed as of recent, seeing as that bridge has been nuked to death, but this arterial road leads directly into one of the larger manufacturing operations thus far. These carriages, while not pipes, are a different kind of mode of transport. At first glance, a seemingly perfect shelf rack for transporting seedling trays. It's safe to say Lothric sucked up the entire supply of egg cartons. All that's left in the Silk Road is the Dictyonema lichen growing all over the walls. Warding off evil bastards like me are these thuribles, also known as censors, not for personal herb consumption, but a medium to bless one's surroundings and compatriots. The gentrification effort was so effective that these poor residents are putting their pots right next to what little grass there is to maintain their fleeting memories of a better time. Curious, however, is somebody who has become far too aware of the noises their vertebral column makes and has decided to never move again, sprouting thick roots and branches. And, looks to me like the root bark has been harvested first. Interesting. Hold on a second, now I'm seeing it. Andre's irrigation scheme has jumped the fish tank and has made it... No, wait. Maybe this is where he got it from. The environment isn't too far off of what Firelink is built on. In fact, my Mentos gymnasium engine just fired up and I know for absolute 100% fact that this is a slightly too crispy cocaina bush. The axis of transport is not so clear on how this product makes its way to the Boreal Valley, but I believe the Outrider Knights have been moonlighting as filthy, underhanded savages, smuggling it away, without paying. Luckily, this here building has one of the more inconvenient lighters I've ever seen. The ashen one is so stupid that it lights the entire Mickey on fire instead of just the fat end. No way am I going to let the worst canoe ever happen. But in dire situations, this stuff could prevail. Close by are even more well-rooted shamans, a torture machine, filled cages, and enormous bricks of a suspiciously dusty variety. Just what went down here when the well dried up? So far we found the worst lighter ever, now we have the worst paper possible. If you've ever tried to use newspaper and ended up with a third lung growing out of your nose, you know what's up with the burnt ink. But what to fill it with? We'll have to find something appropriate, procured on site of course, because I'm assuming to have just landed here. Minor exception to the 2 flasks we get. As for what these folks are doing, no idea. Probably burning the petroleum-based glue on this bonfire for maximum brain cell deterioration. This area is brimming with joy. Looking at the bigger picture shows us that it's also brimming with these trees. Judging by the state of those who seem to be turning into one, I shall now name these Iboga trees. Endemic to the Undead Settlement and not found elsewhere, which I will chalk up to their god deity tree balls putting up a gestalt psychic field barrier with serum autism levels so lethal that it evaporates anyone too close to the critical mass redline. We are so close to just finding a source of something. There are constant allusions like the vases, the grass, this mode of transport, these guys munching on bowls of... people. Oh, young'un, fret no more, for this meadow will ensure that your dry-ass tongue will stick to your esophagus forever. These flowers are, at face value, a sort of nightshade. so I'll stick with that before I shake my own confirmation bias. Other than being potatoes, they're known to be toxic to humans and a deliriant, which is perfect. Growing between each and every nightshade is an ephedra plant, because of course, and surrounding them are fully grown iboga trees, whose root bark produces dreamlike effects. So you're speedballing hyper-awareness, ego erasure, and dreaming. I see now how they created their homunculus testicle titan false god. I said before that it's the root bark that you want, since it contains the dream substance ibogaine, and would you believe it, found throughout the settlement are bundles of what appears to be the bark of the extensive root system, chewed at one's own discretion until failure. Somebody just shit my pants? As for who is responsible for grinding all of these substances into manufacturable pulp, I vote in this guy with a well-worn hammer. Good thing we have a water source for distillation in the form of a poo and rat water sewer, plenty of arson to produce heat for decarbing, and the lean man overseeing the entire project as the purple coding ghost of Risma's past. More importantly, Hod Richard gives us the vertebral mortar to Loretta's pestle, giving us probably the only thing that could get even close to being considered a herb grinding upper. Now it comes all together. The sheer concentration of the Joyful Meadows, water-based solvent, site foreman, and this funky lighter begs the decision to triangulate an important XYZ coordinate, leading us straight into the God Chamber. Oh. The absurd amount of silverware, pots, pans, vases, baskets. The torture device makes complete sense now too. It's where the practice of turning someone into an iboga tree takes root, literally, through strapping them into the chopping table and skinning them of their bark, seen nearby in the corner. The reason iboga is grown and consumed only here is because coca, nightshade, and ephedra are their main exports. Were their main exports, rather, since Lothric has gerrymandered the civilized trade routes of old and installed an isolationist dictatorship. As the famous Irish saying goes, they have their hand in the cream. To escape the toils of sentience, the populace of USA, as in Undead Settlement Association, has begun to illegally brew a potent dreamworld substance. CCTV footage has captured its effects on the extra-dimensional residents of dreamworlds. Safe to say, walking has become an arduous, fully conscious, and exhausting effort. As for the sponsors of such debauchery, Barney's Farm. The only possible explanation for these white branches is that this is a Dark Souls canon interpretation of salvia. What does it do? It summons the time knife and sends you on a mission to become the nearest inanimate object until you have experienced 5.6 lifetimes as a stool. What does the young white branch do? Gets you a Jericho ballistic missile to the noggin if you're not careful is what it does. For an area with little to no privacy, the one place you do get it is the one place you get someone in the definitive tweaking position. I rank this one a pretty good out of 10. Bro forgot to dump the ashes out, but I'll do that for them. Rest easy, sweet prince. While I'm at it, I might as well put the false prophet to bed, since this thing's only ability is to lose functionality of its acidic bowel spawn all over its own nuts. That's no way to semi-live. This bottomless pit of despair is an analogy for pooping on your own balls, though judging by the classic tweaking position, there's a good chance the iboga juice just runs out of the guy, and is being emulated by its worshippers. Just look at the size of these roots. No, wait. It goes deeper than that. It's like how the Temerians first discovered aliens beneath their floorboards and passed on the curse by getting archaeology to themselves. The catacombs beneath the settlement are loaded with dudes full of roots. There's even an effigy of the old god of sin here. How nice it would be to have a deity tell you personally that you have not cursed and have not sinned. At the other end of the y-axis is a dude who has partially turned into the tower he resides upon. Now this is a mastery of salvia, seeing as an equilibrium has been struck between restful inanimacy and wakeful animacy. Perhaps these miniature dried stems are a consequence of achieving such a chakra alignment. We missed him before due to phase warping, but the absent-minded Sigmire male shows us the power of alcoholism. He waits for me to blast this guy's balls to death, claims credit, passes on his substance dependency, and falls asleep. That was epic, Sigmund. He did show us something extremely useful though. Right next to us is the culmination of everything we've seen so far from this area. These bricks are, as we know, the distilled coca product, now placed in wheaten bricks next to a fire to dry them out for transport, no doubt in the direction of Irithyll, their only source of income after being excluded by Lothric. These sieve baskets are remnants of the refining process, where pulp is dried, separated by the sieves, and packed together into the brick format. The wheels are to remind people to send these ones off to the democratic royalty of Irithyll for sovereignty and legal protection. Let's go back to the evil-ass cool demon and look at what it dropped. This bright orange resin is, without a doubt, Cannabungus concentrate. Not a crystal, but a very viscous liquid. No wonder the evil-ass kill demon wanted to kill so bad. We will unfortunately need a rather sophisticated method to consume such a sophisticated material though. Let's sober walk to the nearest building to quietly panic to death in oh, looky here. These things are called betel nuts. Found deep in Southeast Asia, particularly in the mountains of Myanmar, the betel nut has more health complications than any side effects worth their own salt. It's like nicotine, only it's called aracholine, and it dissolves your mouth. CCTV footage has captured the repercussions of giving a betel nut to a being of the underrealm. Note the unbridled rage as it locates tons of inky papers, but with nothing to put in them. Nah, it has stumbled across the US Association Council, where everybody is in prime condition for leaving this realm in both interpretations. Allegiance with Irithyll is further evidenced by the crack ring, where the less dressed you are, the more damage you do. This can be paired with the Bristol ring for a sickly combo. Close by is the Equipoise ring. What is it, past me?
Equipoise. Equipoise increases red blood cell count in your bloodstream, thus allowing you to run further, for longer, possibly even faster. It was a drug designed for horses, the same way trenbolone was a drug designed for cows to hold meat better for longer, but for horses to run further. Thus the name Equipoise, Equus.
Closing us out for US of A is this silly cunt waiting for the next batch of nothing, since I killed the entire association. Go on, crack boy. I see the ember you've left in your wake. Go on and boof my enormous clonker. Due to the quantity of bonfires, datura and meth get A tier. Coca gets a C due to low ease of access to the processed version. Dude, for fucking hell. Iboga, uniquely cultured, plentiful and optimized, gets a solid S. Nightshade and Lichen get B. Lean, beer, concentrate, betel nuts and equipoise get D tier, as they're all low in quantity, hard to find and hard to enjoy in peace. Salvia gets A. Crack gets fucking trash tier. It's all been exported, all you get is a ring that makes you more powerful on it, you don't have any, and the only thing you get is this fucker at the end of the level with nothing to share. Zaz sadly goes into the trash. Road of Sacrifices is pretty worthless, other than proving the theory of the trade route to Irithyll by being a road and having carriages, and having an oxygenated and sufficiently watered coca plant right there. That and the religious fundamentalism ring and book, because there is no drug more destructive than whatever that stuff is. Moving on. Wait. Don't forget to ask the most eloquent stoner for some papers. For some reasons, a huge amount of psychoactive substances grow or materialize in swamps, in real life, which aren't exactly known to be high productivity areas. Nevertheless, this one has fucking nothing to show for, biologically speaking, except for these guys who emit a purplish fumes, so I'll designate this as whippets. Going forward, most things to do with fire will be designated as some sort of sacred bud. For example, the Farron coal, being weirdly square shaped, shall now be known as herb vaporizer. This crab holds a ring that makes pyromancies, as in fat rips, even more powerful. And this pyromancy tome, though soggy, was definitely associated with Dutch hobbies. At first glance, friendly buccos, upon affirming paranoia, become gang stalkers, carrying the single largest blunt the lands had ever seen, which is now mine. I will now die hard your bestest of friend, using your very essence.
Goodbye, Jojo.
In this same building, we see for the first time what looks like barley, though clearly not as a result of crop schedules, but due to negligence. This may be why alcohol is pretty hard to come by in Lothric. Going purely by this ring's description, it's easy to jump to the conclusion that, assuming you are holding a club or a staff, your spell casting time will be significantly hastened. The nearby green blossom rests my case. A case I would really like to rest is the fucking Scissorp man back on his "oh, it doesn't feel like fucking ass, it feels like ass fucking." Sure man, just go back to sleep. Hey, fuck looking at this guy, I completely glossed over what these guys are holding.
Lean, yeah, perp drank, man.
This guy's on lean.
That's a giant ass fucking joint he has there.
He fucking does, oh man. These guys, no wonder they need a shortened spell casting time. Oh, they're giving it to you. This is the roach end.
The guy in the back is rolling a cross joint on his back.
Oh my god.
yes.
He's got the cross joint.
That's fucking awesome. I'll try to get him angry and make him kill me. Hey! What's up? He says.
You got the red eyes.
Fucking Keith spilling out of the top.
Yeah.
That's how you look after buying a 50 bag and then chain smoking it until it's gone.
Chain smoking? Chain?
Oh shit.
Oh, this guy's the chain smoker.
Zam.
Waiting for his turn on the joint.
You reckon the vibe, man? Give me a spell cast, blow a ring at me. Use your fucking staff.
I like the idea that everybody, they're not carrying weapons, everyone is just holding a joint. And a rolling tray.
Yeah. Meth lizard. Oh shit, that's a dark shade. Oh wow.
Yeah, while the Crystal Sage may not be the farmer, the manufacturer, or the porter, it's safe to say that he and his lackeys are 100% the top customers and likely keeping the industry less volatile than Andre wants it. Whoops, I'm one of his donkeys. Brought my bottle with me too. I'm so fucking hopped.
Wow.
Does it up your attack speed as well? The player speed?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm on my dick is on fire. Help. Yep. That's movement.
You're stuck in your fucking own asshole.
Ring job. Eating
You're
your own.
stuck in your own
I'm nearly there.
This fucking dumbass thinks using my own strength against me will result in anything but getting forcibly boofed at 10 speed. Humbug. I eat that shit for snack. Credit where it's due, the sage has the perp mixed in with his shards, resulting in what I can only assume to be the future of speedballing. I tried looking up this combo, and the first thing Google does is tell me to seek help. Don't worry, I've been dead sober since my awakening.
Puffing and puffing.
It even looks like a meth pipe. Little glass ball.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh
Holy
way. What?
Oh my god.
Most efficient digestive system I've ever seen.
Just leads to the ground immediately. Yo, this is the pipe. The pipe is his fucking beak mouth. That's so efficient. Evolutionarily adapted for meth. Doesn't even need to eat.
This dude. Same dude.
He's pulling on that.
Rest easy, yes king. Endless thank yous to sticking to the bit. His fucking soul is blue. Cathedral starts us off with the missing Avenger. Tobacco. It's more than just delusion. It straight up just is tobacco. So extensive are the tobacco plants that I'm certain it wasn't an accident, and it even looks like tilling and ploughing, albeit a bit awful. To make this more than just a leaf, we will need some place to dry it, chop it, wrap it, and light it.
Well, the lighter, you got the,
Yeah.
the bonfire.
Okay, we have one of those secured. Fuck it. Doubles as drying. I'll say it preemptively, but due to the fact that Cathedral of the Hat Man has a single bonfire, Meth and Datira will be taking a major hit. No wait, just Datira actually. I'm fairly certain I've lumped this area in with Heisigberg. At least it gets an extra charge here. Right next to us is, by our own rules, a tweaking spot, complete with ashes. This is the worst shit I have ever seen. Sadly, the barley still does not look like it's a result of irrigation, but I am hoping for the lead paint combo of nicotine and booze. That the only bonfire we'll be getting is... wait, I'm gonna do that later. Yeah, I'll do the DLCs together.
Just in the ketamine fields now.
Anyway, the Cathedral proper has yet more nicotianas, and... man, I regret calling this weed. It looks nothing fucking like it. Why the hell would the devs implement anything of similar shape? Well, it's not like we're low on materials, just glancing we have more ephedra, meth crystals, and pretty regularly placed barley, or hops, or whatever. I'll take it. Further on is even more salvia, even more ephedra, even more tobacco, and even more barley. Is that the trifecta? Or should I count these vines as Zaza and make that the trinity? Ah yes, while not the end path for the Undead Settlement coca trade route, obviously someone is going to order some shit from DuckDuckGo.
Looks exactly like Lily of the Valley. Fucking ricin.
Upwards, there are some more betel nuts, and... okay, I know I said this was the smelly stuff, but I implore you to erase that from your memory. These vines in solely this location are ayahuasca vines, stipulated by these fictional fully grown vines that have the signature twisted branches covering the entire cathedral. With that kind of context, I can absolutely believe this to be the most religious location for the World's Hollows. Besides Londor, of course. The stewards are walking around with their lighters so ready that their hands are on fire. The chaplains are wearing tattered clothes, meaning they're smoking their own boxers, and the evangelicals are so hell-bent against Datira being the dominant deliriant that they placed hunter charms around the place to prevent using flasks. The pastors are so dedicated to the bit that they have invented eternally lit hot rails, becoming both the edge that cuts the branch and the fire that seeps their minds. See, this is the kind of fundamentalism that I can get behind. Getting catapulted while walking to the shop would be fucked up and weird. Getting catapulted out of nowhere at an amusement park while also whack wouldn't be the weirdest thing. Getting catapulted while on a roller coaster is not only fitting, but expected, and therefore enjoyable. What I'm saying is that a church built out of ayahuasca vines is likely the best place to say hi to God. Even though it's with people who have been alive for so long that they're LARPing as corpses, I wouldn't be remiss. The only thing left to tackle is the Benadryl culture. Deep, within the church.
Fart cloud, Jenkum.
I don't think I've ever managed to sneeze with my mouth closed, ever.
Try it when you're sober from being sick.
The guidebook has been tossed aside, probably because the only thing it will say is to never, ever use it. Upstairs is pure, unadulterated quash. Not even these guys will fuck with that. And just inside the attic is pure, unadulterated MDMA. So there's suckers for both denying a visit with the Hatman and for tossing prime gurn. And they're hogging all these ornate pipes for themselves, only to never use it. Whatever. I'll be taking their soul and my leave. Zzz. Badum.
I found weed.
The shit swamp is too many things at once, and I think Jenkin was covered quite elegantly within the cathedral, so I'll take these bangers, take this psychoactive stun lock, light the 3 largest bongs on planet Earth, admire these cross joints, take this poo-poo spray, take this high extender ring, eliminate the result of letting your ashes fester, discover 2 new strains, discover DBH, unearth the Herobrine gem, commence battle with wannabe Hatmen who show their true colors by lighting up, and move on to Karthus. Well, okay, the only fucking thing you can find in Karthus is this red stuff. Because High Lord Walnir was known as La Vape Lord back in 2016 Epic Bacon, I'll just say that this is fizzy cherry juice. Use it by getting Walnir to skeege his beach straight into your mouth. Sure, there are elements of other things going on, but it's just a little too vague to definitively tell you what's going on here. Because it's purple, and the drank men were above us, let's leave it at that. Further down we find even more shatter and discover Percocets of all things deep in here. I don't see how a skeleton could possibly benefit from painkillers if it has no flesh to hurt or nerves to feel it. CCTV footage has captured a pseudo-god attempting to consume just one.
My game just crashed.
In the bowels of the earth resides a more powerful version of the pyromancy ring, sure to crank your perceptive abilities so off-kilter that you will convince yourself you'll be the first person to overdose on munchies. If these trees are what I think they are, and as combusted as I see them to be, I cannot begin to imagine the kind of sickos that used to inhabit this place. Moreover, this gem, known as Diamond, is a THC concentrate so potent that you will not spare even a millisecond to shit yourself to death. This entire area is fucking cursed. I'll give them one thing. Turning your hand into a lighter is genius. Allow me to put these creatures out of their misery before they call an ambulance on themselves. Ranking time. This was a pretty insane area, but off the bat, Datura goes into trash for its lack of presence in both plant and bonfire. Coca goes into trash, but its blocky cousin gets a D for its periodic appearances. Bangers return for a brief moment, but not enough to escape D. Alcohol, even with doubt benefit, goes into D since you can't drink glorified weed, and nowhere is sophisticated enough to make it. Mary gets a solid S for its continued presence through pyromancy, goofy assets, and an entire area hotboxing the Earth's crust with futuristic methods and concentrates. Lean, B. Benapine goes to A, almost there but just not easily accessible, whereas tobacco goes to A for being accessible but not easily consumed. Ayahuasca repping Cathedral FC goes straight into S, no buts. Nitrous, Betel nuts, MD, Jenkum, Gear, DPH, and Percocets all go into C for being easy to find but only a single time. Fizzy Cherry gets a D for having a huge supply, but you have to rely on Walnir's blowback to get any of it. Maybe that's where Cathedral is exporting its tobacco. Religious fundamentalism gets a B. Christmas is here. The cheer is queer. I'm gonna go ahead and make Crack the S tier representative of the area because it's fucking everywhere. And yeah, booger sugar is also everywhere. It's on the fucking ground, you reptile. Rather incredibly, it turns out that the black tar epidemic seen all throughout Lothric Castle has just been traced all the way back to Irithyll. It makes perfect sense. As a rival nation, cultivate blue poppies, manufacture opium secretly to circumvent sanctions, send out your diplomat dog knights to Lothric, sell them at insanely cheap prices to undercut the populace, and watch your empire crumble. The reasoning can be easily identified as Lothric throwing off the long-established logistical pathways, pushing neighbouring sovereign states toward the next largest power, Irithyll, and allowing it to be the England to Lothric's China during the late 1850s. Anyway, this plant just above the worst tweaking spot imaginable almost looks like the Juana. So damn close. It's part of another asset with what looks like... well, it looks like fucking cabbage. Close again, but I'm not looking for silly analogies. It would have been cool if this could be connected to Van Gogh, but that guy mainly drank absinthe, the mad dog. That's all fine though, because what I've discovered here on these frostbitten hills is straight up salvia, down to the subtly pink flowers covering the entire stem, with sepals to boot. It's perfect. Shame I never found it elsewhere, but it feels good to be vindicated. I'm also a liar. Besides finding rocks all over the damn place, a couple skins, oxalis, a chemotherapy drug, 2 Gs, and shit, it looks like we found our absinthe. There's no way a nation as large as Irithyll would have the manufacturing process of either of its hallmarks be done on site, so we're not going to find it here. The enormous profits are plainly visible in this house that I just broke into. I'm just going to assume, like before, that LSD has been pasted across the paintings for later licking. Once you start being able to hear your tongue tissue creak up and down your neck, you know it started working. I wouldn't recommend trying it on the magnum opus for obvious reasons.
Divine blessing. What is a divine blessing?
Well, it's you, the audience, of course. Oh, you.
Viagra.
Say it's a cock ring.
That's steroids. And no, this lets you crossfade. That's the bath salts ring.
Wow, this stuff is really looking like the Za the more I look at it. I'll wait till the end of the level for a surprise reveal. And wow, this stuff is the other pellets, but blue. I christened you M30s. Before I suddenly turn off into the dungeon, I want to complain a little about how both of these kind of look like MDMA, but only one of them can be that. Thus, I christened this darker yellow one as Mephedrome. Fuck, I mean, it makes sense. Apparently it's got a similar up, but has the added effects of being a potent stimulant, leaving you fried to bits after it wears off. Ka-chow. It's located right next to a tweaking spot with an incredibly positioned inhabitant. What the fuck? They were trying to escape? Question mark. No idea how Blackhand got his hands on my Viagra ring, but, well, sharing is caring. Nah, fuck this guy. He's getting his boat Pickle Rick rocked by some idiot spitting mud at him. Instead, let's watch Pontiff put his bath salts ring on and destroy. Like with Dancer, he has a hot rail for hyper-efficient crack consumption and a lean sword for tranquilizing himself and his enemies in tandem, beating them with experience. He's so versed in the arts of styrofoam cup stacking that he effortlessly reaches critical RPM, summoning a purple stand that, like, looks cool, I guess. Sorry, I got distracted. That just looks like the flag of England. If I imagine these chairs as crosses, then maybe I could tolerate it being the Cartvelia flag. What Pont Spliff was defending was a rare white poppy farm dedicated to overthrowing Prince Lothric himself, though I don't think that will be very necessary, dear priest. Focus on your damn workers, judging by the amount of embers all over the place. These poor guys tuckered themselves out on, well, something. Maybe it was the cough medicine. I did find this ring that makes you more sensitive to it nearby. I filmed this plant extensively in the hopes that I would find anything that even remotely has to do with silly plantaloons, but I never did. Enjoy these while they last. Hold on a sec. The grand reveal? Beholding. It is here. The fabled 3-meter tall nugs. It's incredible. These things have been grown outdoors in the cold, have been preened and weaned to the point that the entirety of their interior is just nug. It's simply fucked. The giants are sleepy not because they've consumed anything, it's due to the cultivation of these intercontinental missiles. I find it funny that the meth crystal now comes in the shape of pyramids, found above the ruler of a state. If you don't catch my whiff, what I mean is that your neighbors really are out to get you. Your walls really are thin enough to have me inside them. And this is all connected to the fact that the pyramids are just the tip of an expansive mining operation spanning 4,000 years to unearth the bowels of the Nephilim. In one of these caverns we find another hero-human gem, 8 dregs of it even, but I didn't expect it to be dog. The magnum opus, in my eyes, is this beautiful display in the Dark Moon tomb. I now know why Lothric has not flowers on its datura bushes. The Lothric Irithyll opium wars were not solely an opportunistic backstabbing event like it was in real life. Thanks, Britain. It was a shift in power brought on by the delirialization of the times at hand. Once the Outrider Knights brought the scourge of poppies into Lothric to depose the throne, they returned with just these datura trumpets, as an homage to a once great political partnership. Tears down my leg. Aldrich is so fucking boring, don't care. I get another verbalizer, and he's the false god of Benadryl. Capiche? What I find more interesting is just what mysteries await us in the delicious dungeon. You're gonna need a helmet for this place because one wrong step and you're left either reciting the alphabet until failure or reinventing it. The area-specific substance for this dungeon is DMT. The compound itself appears in the brains of mammals, but in powdered form it has a greenish, yellowish hue. These candles, for lack of my own understanding, are a cast of melted down and solidified DMT. The fumes it gives off infects everything within. Some deal with it by coughing it back up and inducing a sense of doom within you. Others simply go about simulating a cerebral lobotomy, whatever that is called, as they choose to no longer move. Some, like the Abominations of Sin, successfully made contact with the Time Lords, and ended up as something halfway between an angel and a mustelid. If that isn't enough for you, maybe this sorcery-enhancing ring procured on site will ensure that any external stimuli like that bush you just walked into has been distorted and transformed into a HUD notification showing you your tire is flat. In reality, you've only been inhaling for half a second. It pales in comparison, but these greyish-greenish stems are, again, poppies. Close by are more ephedras. Anything with the preamble of profaned just means that it's stuck in the laminated space between both folds of your consciousnesses, as in it just refers to the bisection of both the new reality your deepest, most amphibian brain cells conjured up, and the old reality where your foremost prerogative became grabbing the nearest bag of popcorn and watching in awe as you shake its contents out on the lawn. This profane flame, rather tragically or untragically, is ripping a bong in this state. Now to pray that you did that in the newborn blossom of sentience, because you might actually die of cottonmouth if that happened in the real world. The Profaned Coal is the new mighty that just dropped. Let's hope the real world does not, in fact, just let you make material use of screenshots off of Amazon. This ring allows you to separate your hemispheres in order to allocate more molecules to less brain. Wow, that was nuts. I forgot not only what I was doing, but I also forgot what I designated as DPH. Whatever it was, this is a way better fit. It looks like delicious sweets that you should not fucking eat.
Hurl Chaos Flame. This is blowing a fat cloud.
Let's make use of some of the rings we've acquired along the way to become the single most efficient entity at hearing the creaking sounds on our necks. The only house in the Profaned Capital has all sorts of things intended to resist a bad trip, i.e. curse, such as this anti-spider ring and the anti-teeth falling out stone. Aside, we get a second bath salt ring if that's the build you're going for, and 2 incredible looking pipes for personal squonkage, though I think I'll stick with mine. Yorm really takes shit too seriously. Mr. Guy, a heat-seeking, O-blowing, enormous, sentient, flaming bowl is exactly what an autoflower isn't. Maybe he's just a cool guy, getting people prepared for his semi-auto exotic boof cannon because he just gets too self-aware, and would like for others to be as smeared as him when paying a visit. Here's a POV of someone who wasn't quite quick enough and became the capital's go-to tweaking spot, complete with terrifying red man entity. Well, fuck. Didn't work. He probably overcompensated and got way too green. Not to mention his personal maids look like they're just the DMT prison guards cosplaying as a French cat. The dude's been laced, so let's take a look at what condition his condition is in. Yeah, you're too far gone. The poor guy's realized that 100% of the Earth's urban surface is based on the blueprint of 1800s Manchester. Fucking Manchester. At least he has the wherewithal to lit his shit one more time. Recap. First off, Crack obviously goes straight into S for being the area rep, along with DMT as a second in command. Snot Salt, Venom, Gorilla Lettuce, Glup, Meth, and Datura for that homage go into A. Salvia, Oxalis, Absinthe, Jankum, Benadryl, LSD, and Bath Salts get B for being somewhat plentiful but only in one location, and not having much to use with, or having somewhere to use it. DPH, M30, Mephedrone, and Viagra are all C tier. They are only found once, but in somewhat meaningful places with easy consumption. Future me 2 minutes from now, Sweet Flag gets a D because it's stinky.
You're approaching me? Am I okay up there? Bro, I'm tweaking. Get the fuck down from there. It's like penis music. No, you're not supposed to look like that.
Hatman gave us a moldy tissue that absorbed us into a world of fiction. First things, let's deem this fungus to be something of the psilocybin persuasion. Looking at the spores themselves, they're fucking huge, because we are miniaturized, but I'm sure you'd see plenty of nipples if you just looked for them on the cloth itself. This dude has achieved part fungus, part animal, which I'd assumed was like sponges or something.
Yo,
The vape world.
it's Colombia.
I'm fucking digging it up.
You're just in the ketamine fields now.
Oh fuck, this is the ketamine! This is it! Monumental discovery. Ketted out world of...
Everybody's sitting on, yeah, man. Everyone's sitting on the floor. No one can move.
You need to find someone in a K-hole.
Well, this guy...
Yeah. He's definitely it, man.
Yeah.
KO.
Oh!
So high in K, hasn't shaved in like 2 years.
Sup?
When's the last time you guys did Ket? The last time I had it was the one where it sketched me and getting sick.
Fucking incredible. So already we have Commander and Commander-in-Chief, that being Horse Tranquilizer and Shrooms. The spores permeate everything that exists, and Special K cloaks the universe. Trip over the wrong corners and you're on a one-way trip to the sunken place.
Sure, he's falling into the K-hole. He's ready.
He's accepted it.
It also explains this peculiar strain we found earlier and just here. It's one of the more dangerous crossfades I've been personal witness to. This is by far the easiest way to become a projectile with fuel coming out of all 3 orifices. In the context of this DLC, metal nuts become poppers.
Poppers? Yeah.
Anal damage absorption. Fetch. What are you guys doing? Oh, I get one! Oh shit! This is the blunt rotation.
That's ashwagandha, man.
Really?
You heard it. This saffron looking stuff is really just ashwagandha, and that is the reason these flies do not give a flying fuck about my presence.
It's got a dish on there.
Rolling tray.
The interior of Ariandel's church is filled to the fucking brim with paintings, and you know what that means. The quadfecta of this place is mushrooms, ked, ashwagandha, and LST. I think at that point he would just come full circle and become Sober 2.0. At the bottom of the township is found Sweet Flank, a medicinal herb. Let me just go back and correct myself in Irithyll, since I think I saw it there. The township proper has a river of ashwagandha juice. I can absolutely see why they would need it. This place looks fucking horrible. What better way to better your situation than to just not give a fuck anymore? The bottom of the level, though, brings tears to the eyes. It's fucking beautiful. Special K hanging from the ceiling, stalagmiting from the ground, infecting the surrounding wildlife to produce the same substance. Mountains of this stuff, both producing more through freeze-thaw action and being the result of someone negligently using this cloth to store the wrong stuff. And tying it all together is the K-hole itself. On top of poppers, zaz, and ashwagandha, other things were found here. Lean, crack, salvia, bangers, liberty caps, crank, poo, the dank bonk ripper 49, and genuine cat crystals. All of those go into C tier, except for the cat crystals. Psilocybin vehicles and donkey juice are obviously S. Ashwagandha and Sid get A.
I forget what I deemed this to be. Oh man. I'll just film it, whatever. Jellyfish. Brugman's species.
Bro's launching shit.
Holy shit.
I spent 14 minutes here researching, and not a single productive thing came out of this part of the level. Whatever these things are, there sure are plenty of them. Not every single plant acid needs to be made into something funny. Fucking immature. Some small things I found were the lightning juice you guys weren't able to make funny, some crack, an incredible tweaking spot. These guys achieving peak salvia, some meth, a ring showing just how unfunny you all are, and the actual largest blunt on planet Earth. Funny how it was found in the highest location in the game. Okay, future me, that's where I found it. Maybe I can use it in conjunction with the skeleton shield bash rock for an eventful Tuesday morning. Wait a second. This whole time I've been blaming the viewer for my own shortcoming. All the way back in Highwall, I've been complaining about the lightning juice for not having any foundational plant or object I can compare to real-life contraband. Sure, there was the mephedrone, but that's an actual rock. This whole time, I could have been attributing it to LS-fucking-D. It's entirely synthetic, created in labs, found only the way it is. I should have seen the connection with the lightning-wielding Silver Knights and the Lothric Knights being so close to the paintings. Well, I'm not going back to fix all that shit. Go back to 5 minutes 12 seconds and look in the bottom left corner. The Grand Archives, as far as I can tell, possess the single largest collection of Rizlas in the kingdom. What little knowledge they had left was put aside for developing a highly advanced anti-bad trip system whereby you cover your entire head in wax. Can't have a bad experience if you've been blinded and suffocated until you pass out. Not only do they have advanced crystal rock lizards with prime shit, but they have meth blinkers, like electronic skin itching devices. The most important item, I think, is the final marijuana jitsu, a technique that allows you to get so deep fried that you lose all sense of fear. This knowledge cannot be made public. Let's finish out the main game by putting an end to the autocracy that led to the downfall of world peace. The Lothric brothers. Light up all you want, cast all the spells you want, squish my head all you want with your hot rail. You don't chance a stand. It isn't quite time yet for the end of the game. First comes the end of the world. For the whole video I've been assigning anything deep with Benadryl, and that absolutely fits here. The Dreadkeep is one of the better representations of delirium, only it's missing the cigarette I keep dropping in the shower. As you can see, the end of the world does not refer to the Big Crunch theory, but a heat death in the form of everything that can be smoked being all smoked away. Ash piles, mounds, hills, mountains, deserts, it's all gone. And all that's left is prescription allergy medication. This makes it easy to deal with the afflicted. Just smear antihistamines on your gloinker and they flop over in prayer for the Hat Man. While I have never seen the Hat Man, I have seen the Magic Man, and here is a picture of him. I don't understand the significance of barnacles, mussels, and clams covering these people when it pertains to all of this. If only it was processed using... Wait a second. Red, brown, and grey algae all produce antihistamines. Sponges, too. The enzyme hyaluronidase, the heavy hitter in allergic reactions, is blocked by a chemical that deep ocean bacteria and fungi produce. Miyazaki, you are a fucking genius. You're a fucking genius, man. No, I need to get this off my chest. Miyazaki knows damn well that I'm allergic to shellfish. That's why he made this angel look like a prawn. Angels, dendrolite, 5G biowarfare, allergies, histamines, Benadryl, shellfish. He knows where and what I am, and for that I cannot stand. What he doesn't know is when I am behind him, and how I got there. As for the why, you know. You fucking know. Also, this is straight up weed, and we have nitrous all up in the poo sludge. And what exactly the folk here are hot railing, I don't know. I just hope it isn't the fucking poo. Sassy himself couldn't have competed with the kind of hits they were attempting. No, wait, I know who. All those forbidden weed pyromancies were developed and honed by one pair of fools. These guys. Though it's ineffective to use it on the likes of the Red Man, it was an honourable attempt. Most interesting was this laser beam attack, also known as having 5 too many edibles and technically regurgitating it all back up. The ringed city, named after them fat O's the princes were busting out, is a marvel of biodiversity. At but a single glance, Jane, ephedra, tobacco, poppy, sweet flag, cabbage, and zooming out gives us a little blick at the... I have just been informed that Benadryl and DPH are in fact the same exact thing. Benadryl is just the brand name of diphenhydramine, which is DPH. Whatever, moving on. The swamp is so pure and saucy that its tide washes against the cliffside and dries up, producing enormous dark purple crystals. Fuck. I just realized I forgot to record myself fighting my deer. You know, a vassal of God, purple, crystals. Fuck you past me. I don't even have footage of him jumping me because I've aggro turned off. Whatever. Moving on. Continuing with the veritable treasure trove of plants, we have acids used for ayahuasca, the giant missile nugs, coca, salvia flowers, and brand new one that I will call George. We even have the ancient Iboga Society visiting us, like the ones we found under the Undead Settlement. And the number of tweaking spots, whoosh! Here's a POV of one. Not bad at all, man. Another newcomer is this Glaucium flavum, part of the poppy family and named the yellow poppy, but it's actually a bronchodilator by day and fatally toxic by night. Like I said ages and ages ago, the dark side can and will be used as both a lighter and an all-consuming decarboxylating chuckhole. What it shall be used on is the datura acid, but oxygenated and watered. Again, no flowers, but blame that on the Pontiff Crusades. As long as it has the seed pods, you'll have everything you need. Close by is purpified salvia, no doubt infected by my idiotic misunderstanding of the difference between Benny and DPH. Fucking man. Oh yeah, rubbing it. Yeah, why not? As soon as I wrote that, I picked up what used to be DPH in my recording. Very fucking cool. Thank you. No, this is actually very cool. To unlock this monument, you need to use salvia to become the essence of collective consciousness. Or unconsciousness. What difference does it make? Everything you do is not only preordained, but out of your control entirely. What you are is the metabolism of the soul reaching a certain RPM and accidentally creating a consciousness. To combat this, the organism you inhabit does everything it can to make you believe you are the one in control, so that you don't go insane and deteriorate the body. In the catacombs, we find more MDMA, and when did I replace that? Judging by what I wrote here, yeah, I totally forgot when I got that fucking dragon tooth, and then went back. I did go back to write it, didn't I? Yeah, I wrote that. How fucking stupid was past me? There he goes, proceeding to go back and write about Archdragon Peak and Lothric. So easily forgotten. Closing out recording number 67, yes, really is the only example of a true poppy field in this game. Definitely red. Yep, definitely a field. I'm just eager to get to the god deity of the universe. The one and only Hat Man himself. Or itself, I don't mind. It's like an old superhero comic scenario where he has consumed so many antihistamines that it's become inverted, and he's ended up producing the entire supply himself. Very fitting that his arena is composed of every single thing being smoked away. Hit him enough times and he whips out his fizzy cherry IVG, because those are never, ever going to run out. Sorry bro, I'll make sure you quit for good, even if you can do it anytime. Bowl of Cinder wins the entire video. This creature rests on an enormous white ash pile, in an enormous gauze mesh, in an enormous bowl, in an enormous tree. This thing has been fried since before time began and will be long after it ends. I take comfort in that. It is flowers found only in this ancient pile of ash, sorceries only used by this guy, and a dedicated salvia object, that being sedimentary layers of burnt resin that only exist here. All in full view of the dark sign, the analogue of humanity's bottomless well of doing stupid shit and consuming stupid things. Now for the final ranking. Meth and datura are present throughout the entire game in the form of bonfires, but the main difference is that there is far more infrastructure supporting the cultivation, transport, and processing of ephedra, even though datura is more readily consumed. For this, meth sits comfortably in S tier, and datura in A. Cannabis has by far the most variety of anything here, coming in the form of the plant itself, G's, concentrates, and rocks, and it has a huge amount of techniques tied to it, called pyromancy. Its main issue is the mode of transport being, more often than not, costly and annoying to get your hands on. If you hightail it to Cornix and collect all the pipes, papers, and roaches you can, it's doable. so it gets an A. Bangers, Batel nuts / poppers, M30s, Percocets, and so-called DPH get spread across the list. They're in the dumbest, most horrifying places, and there's like 3 of each, ever. Herobrine is present throughout the entire game, only it's almost entirely found in the aftermath of the Lothric Irithyll Silk Road War. So you only get the original plant and the end result, nothing in between. There was nothing stipulating a manufacturing process, and honestly, even if there was, you don't fucking want to touch that stuff. Trash tier. Coca and crack also go together, seeing as they are nearly the same compound. You know what? No. The world of Dark Souls 3 doesn't really let cocaine flourish on its own. It's pretty much exclusively the zippity gravel, found in nearly every mule lizard and having its own entire area. Crack goes into A tier, held back by the lack of pipes. Iboga, ayahuasca, and DMT may have very different effects, but all 3 end up in B tier for the same reason. That being they are plentiful and medicinal, but pretty much only found in their respective areas, also being difficult to casually enjoy for different reasons. The same can be said for alcohol, tobacco, and by extension vape juice, all found very plentifully in a single location, respectively. For this they end up in low B, maybe C, for being more difficult to acquire and consume. Sweet flag, oxalis, and jenkem get D for being kind of rare and hard to use, also purely medicinal. All types of testosterone replacement, all rings, nightshade, lichen, nitrous, MDMA, chloroform, absinthe, bath salts, mephedrone, and Viagra exist in at most 2 inconvenient places and suck to use. Salvia and religious fundamentalism are appropriately spaced throughout the game in palatable doses, in a suitable variety. I'll put acid in with the same argument now because I kind of fucked that one up. I'll go into a slightly higher merit B tier. Shrooms, K, and ashwagandha were only found in the painted world. Extremely common, easy to consume and enjoy, but only in the painting. Trash tier outside of it, S tier inside of it. Finally, I'll put lean and Benadryl together since the overlap extends to their ease of consumption, handy locations, color, and potency. They permeate the world itself and are ready to be used in every single area and can be extracted from a large number of people. The lean man exists, and he is wrathful. His cousin Hatman has also been given form, and for that, I crowed S. Thanks for watching, I do appreciate it. Behold as I exclaim the names of each of my patrons as of the making of this video. Aiden Edmonds, Anibal Prieto Amenabar, Azur Threto, Bra Moment 47, BWC Buddy, Cerulean Mimic, Chud Daughter Mechanism, Destiny Hunter 31, Demiurge, Drake Richardson, Furlord, IDR Phoenix, Jacob Hale, Jordan Watson, Contio 1MK, Lenzo the Accursed One, Mavolander, Anjay Shalman, Piggy, Pretzelstein, T-Char, The Cure for Life 1, and Custards the Suftov. That's where I post secret stuff, and there's no paywall even to appear in the next video. I hope I was able to get this video out in January, but some things got in the way of my activities and my playtime. I'll put a poll up for the next video idea, but for now I think it'll be Bloodborne All Lawrence or some bullshit. Until then.